Hey everybody, welcome back to Lois Comics Collectibles, and this week we'll be checking out the Rey Fenix AEW figure from Series 2, the black and white one. So let's get him open and check this bad boy out. Apologies ahead of time, I know this one will have more of a clamshell, so usually I cut out the plasticky bit because that blows people's eardrums out, but we'll see. I don't know how you guys feel, but I like the unboxing part of this. It's fun for me, but I know getting the clamshell off can sometimes be just an ungodly amount of racket like that. But and then okay, sorry for all that, guys. Hopefully nobody got deafened. I was a big fan of Rey Fenix from Lucha Underground, but anyway, he's out, boys, ladies and girls, so let's go check him out under the fig cam and check out one half of the Lucha Brothers or a third of Death Triangle. Hey everybody, we got him out here on the toy bench. Rey Fenix, one half of the Lucha Brothers. In my opinion, one of the best tag teams in AEW, and probably one of my top favorite tag teams of all time. Well, yeah, probably top 10, but I came up in the days of in the 90s and the Monday Night Wars, and I just remember in the 90s, like when they did the light heavyweight and the cruiser division, WCW was my first introduction to luchadors, and I was really big into superheroes and comic books at the time, so to see guys wrestling that were wearing these crazy cool masks, it's never left me. So we have Rey Fenix here. This is the Unrivaled set. I give it hell shit sometimes, so it's easier to remember Basic, Elite, and Ultimate. But let's get to looking at him. I've heard some complaints about how the faces, the eyes or stuff are done, like the process. And I have to say, I haven't seen enough Rey Fenixes to know, but mine looks a little crazy in the eyes, like they're not quite right. And if you look at the lips, you can definitely see some of the silver metallic-y paint got on the lips. Makes him look a little crazy, but overall I'm fine with it. But if you're really picky about that stuff, maybe, well, this is an older figure now. I don't know if you could find them as easily in stores, but if you can find them in stores, that's a good time to sit down and really look one over and pick one that looks good enough for you, because these are all done by machines, so they're always going to be slight imperfections and issues. But we have the head, which goes all the way around. The little ponytail's not long enough to get in the way, but you got that the cross on the forehead and all the fire detailing around the eyes, which is pretty freaking cool. All the little metallic hits there that they could have gotten lazy with. I appreciate those little detail hits. And the fire and Phoenix motifs that will continue throughout this figure, because Rey Fenix, I'm pretty sure in Spanish, is like King Phoenix. It's King something. If I'm wrong, correct me in the comments. But there you got a Phoenix with the wings. And you got the same thing on this side. And boy, does he have a bunch of tattoos. And is it kind of great to see that as near as I can tell, they didn't skimp on them. Now, I don't think, from what I looked at pictures, the shoulder one's this blue. But you got the Dreamcatcher. I think that's called a mandala. If I'm wrong, correct me. I kind of want to get a magnifying glass sometime and see if you can make out what's on the ribs here, because I'm sure it's in Spanish, some of it. I can't really tell here because it's in a nice cursive font. There's I guess a shooting star down there on this, like on the side, and then all this on the shoulder, because there's that blue knotwork of some kind. There's a red 4-leaf clover, and there's even tattoos on his forearms and here. Now that might be some paint smudge. I'm not sure if that's how that actual tattoo looks, because as I look at it, it looked like the paint could have smudged a little bit, but I mean, with this much ink, it's to be expected. And then you go Sorry guys, I'm trying to put the arm back down. Then he's got this elaborate one that I think has a cross in the middle and the wings and the rest of his sleeve. The blacks actually kind of pop a bit better on camera than they do on the figure. This red and green tattoo down here. It's really good to see that when the Jazzwares did not skimp when it came to tattoo applications, because I know a lot of people's complaints and other wrestling figures is sometimes they cheap out on the tattoo hits. I mean, I understand you can only have, I guess, so many decal hits or so much of a paint per figure to make a price point. He's got his wrist straps, which mine's got a little bit of chip in here. I mean, not a big deal, I don't reckon. And I don't, on principle, in case I ever resold it. Oh, he's got a tattoo on his hand there too. You just keep finding more tattoos with this guy. You can touch that up with some light paint. Hand and wrist strap over here. This white and silver trim on the trunks. I don't reckon that's a belt. Doesn't look like a belt. And then you got the little bits of fire on the outer thighs here, and then the big silvery Doppler effect wood design that is actually mimicked on the mask. It's just bigger because there's your bird's head and the rest of the wings. Got the Mexican on one knee pad and the Phoenix logo again here. And I think if you look at these, and I don't know the most about knee pads, so if I'm incorrect, correct me in the comments, but it looks like these are full knee pads that they molded a little squished in the back. See how it kind of curves down? Or that might just be these style of knee pads, but I know there are some people in the Mattel figures that have full knee pads, and getting this knee to do anything is next to impossible because you got all this extra rubber. I think that was tapered there, so it still affects the range of motion a little bit, but it's not as bad, and I like that. Yeah, let's see, sir. Yeah, there's the scratch on the back. I'm trying to think if I missed any other detaily bits. Oh, I know one. You got his kick pads down here, and I like if you can catch it on the camera in the light, how they sort of end in feather points here instead of going across. I think that's a nice little touch, and the wings on the tops of the boots. Articulation, as we said earlier. Do the full head spin. You can look down about yay far. Up about that far. You know, it sounds like I just snapped his neck. He doesn't have really any side to side. I mean, there's a little. It's not much. It might be just because the mask is part of the head. Might have had something that affected how they attached it. You got the joint here at the shoulder that does this, and you can, of course, it being on a ball joint there, you can roll it around all you want. You got the upper bicep swivel, so you can. Sorry, guys, so you can do that. The double jointed elbows, so you can all but touch his face. I mean, you can if you move in closer. But those double jointed elbows that are not on Mattel Elites as far as I've seen. The wrist, I think, is just a peg and hole situation. No kitty. Sorry, Bubba. My kitty cat keeps wanting to lay down with me, and we can't do that. I think it's just a pin and hole. He doesn't. Well, no, he's got. Okay, yeah, he's got some up and down movement. You just got to push it. I thought they didn't. I thought on the she didn't have an up and down wrist movement. Now, a minor complaint is the Unrivaled is kind of, for lack of comparison, or for lack of better wording, a combination of Mattel basic figures and their Elite figures is how I'm taking it. So they don't come with extra hands, and some of the hands to me look a little bit wide to hold stuff fully properly, but still you've got the unmatched set that comes with extra heads. I think some of them come with hands. I think if you know you're only going to do one set of hands, do full C grips so they can hold all the various other accessories on the market. But let's get back to the articulation. Ab crunch, pretty standard, that much, and then you can bend way back. You got the ball joint at the hips, so He can super kick pretty good. My only real complaint about this figure, and I guess it's not a huge deal, but if you're doing figure photography, those flesh-colored pegs there will stand out. But I understand that they have a lot of wrestlers that just wear short trunks. So, and I don't know how much of a pain it would be. I just don't know. I don't feel like it'd been that much of an extra step just to spray some black paint in there, but maybe it would have been. I showed you. You got and you got the upper thigh cut, so his thigh. We'll do that. Oh, is that? Okay, the ankle got out of the line there. You seen the double jointed knees earlier? You get about that much with the knee pad on, and but I mean more than probably enough for most cases. And his ankles have got a weird kind of movement, like he goes back pretty good. Like you can do a good toe point, but it doesn't. Okay, there we go. You just gotta get in our place. A little bit of deflection up, a little bit of inside to side wiggle. So I have no problem with the points of articulation at all in this guy. And I mean, to just beat the pants off of Mattel Elites, there's no real comparison because Mattel Basics, because Mattel Basics on the men are just so limiting on movement. I don't buy Mattel Basic male figures anymore because they don't have the articulation. The women still have this level of articulation, so I'll still buy a WWE female wrestler in the Basics, but that's been about it. But overall, a great figure. I wish I had done what I was going to do in the beginning and stayed with this line of figures sooner, because picking up his tag team partner, Pentagon Jr., it's going to cost me a penny now, but I have to complete the tag team. Anyway, guys, I thank you for spending a lot of time with me today. Thank you for spending a little bit of time with me today. Got tongue-tied there. And leave me a comment in the comment section. Tell me your favorite wrestling tag team, or who else you think they should add to the line. If you have any feedback on how we could do things a little bit better around here, I'm always up for some constructive criticism. And as always, guys, I'll see you next Monday. Peace.